Good morning. Welcome to an edition of Sunday Morning Chess with International Master Jan van der Mortel. Usually on Sunday mornings we have a tournament between Hartford public high school students, but this morning we're taking a break from the tournaments and I will try to entertain you by playing some live chess. I started playing internet chess a very long time ago. It's almost 30 years ago now, so it's fair to say I've played my fair share of games. We'll jump right into it. I am on leadchess.org and it's one of the main chess playing websites, together with chess.com, Internet Chess Club, and this is my favorite site to play. You can play games with just one game with someone who also wants to play a game. If I go to the lobby I can pick a game, but I usually play some tournaments, and I'll pull up a tournament here, Hourly Super Blitz Arena, currently with 760 players. And let's click on it. So on the left you can see the standings of the event. These tournaments are played in a very particular way with their own system. You can see that currently in first place is Anna Red 07 with 21 points, and there's a little symbol of a fire next to her. Basically, if you lose your game you get 0 points, as you can see here. If you win your game you get 2 points, and if you draw your game you get 1 point. Now if you win a third game in a row you'll actually get 4 points for a win. There's one more way to get even more points. If you start your game and you click on Berserk, then you can earn 3 points for a win and 5 points if it's your third win in a row. So Anna Red 07 has berserked all her games, all 5 of her games, and she won all of them. Her first game she got 3 points for, second win 3 points, third win 5 points, then she won again 5 points. And I will join the fight. I'm a little suspicious. Anna Red 07 has a rating of 1430, and yet she's topping the list with players 6, 7, 800 points higher than her, and she plays with half the time. That might be a sign of someone who is using engine assistance, but we'll find out. I'm going to join the fun. There's 36 minutes left in the tournament. I'll try to do my best. I'm now in the tournament. My name is Le Plus M, and the game should start automatically. And as soon as it starts, the fun will start. Joined the game. Okay, here we go. Against Agibond with a rating of 2187. B4, very unusual move. The what is that called again? The orangutan? Orangutan, named after the ape, possibly. I'm just going to go with my standard setup, which I like to play a lot, which involves fianchetto on the king side, putting my bishop in front of my king and then taking it from there. White is playing a pretty standard setup as well. He has castled and now starts to move up his pawns slightly. I'm not out in a rush to go attack him. Let's see, what will I play? I think I'm going to go try to get my pawn to f5 and increase my space on the king side, the left side of the board a little bit. Potentially, I might start an attack on his king side. He's playing it very close to the chess so far, and I will do the same thing. 3 minutes is not a lot of time. This game might come down to a time scramble, so I should be careful to stay close on the clock. Oh, that's actually a pretty good move. I should have done something about that, I suspect. Okay, well, not a big deal. Let's play a5. If he takes, I'll take with my pawn. And I'm not particularly happy with my position yet. Let's see. Now I have to be careful about this guy. Okay. Let's stick this pawn there first to make sure his pawn cannot come here and protect this pawn and sort of solidify his position. That's a pretty good move. He's attacking this pawn. I'll play knight b6, which is going to enable my bishop coming out. Yep, now he's attacking this and that. So, will I have to take? I'll have to take. Will he take back with the pawn or the queen? He takes back with the queen. I develop my bishop, attack this pawn at the same time. So we might have to play queen c2 to protect it. It's important that he doesn't have queen c7 yet to try to enter my position, because my knight is guarding that square. At the same time, I have to be a little bit careful with that. How can I best play this? Let's try queen f7. Let's try piling up on this pawn. You might have to play rook a1, which is a decent move actually. You can then use the other rook to come to c1. So he keeps some control over that file. I would like to play rook c8, but my rook here has to keep protecting my pawn. I would like to play the other rook to c8, but then my knight has to move, and my knight is protecting this pawn. So my pieces are a little clumsy. I'm not convinced about my setup yet. Okay, so now I'll play a quick move, attack this pawn, see if I can keep him busy. Okay, queen moves back. That might be the signal for me to get my knight involved, and if he moves up, my knight will move here, attacking this bishop. Okay. Let's stick this pawn on a3. If I ever end up winning this guy, I'll be very close to queening my pawn. Let's go for the c file now. Okay, as expected. Attacking this pawn, not a bad move, but if I take, he takes, take. Okay, let's see it. Takes. Now, is that going to work for him? It's hard to believe. Now I open up this diagonal, dropping a queen. Well, that is hard to believe as well. Alright, it's early yet. The tournament is still long. I'll try to push off a couple more moves. Not sure how useful that's going to be. Fight. Is there any fight left after dropping a whole queen? Okay, let's try. If he plays rook c7, I can resign. He plays that move. That's interesting. Okay. Where is he going to attack me? He's going to try to attack me there. What is going on? I'm almost out of time. He's dropping pieces left and right. Okay, it's time to pre-move. Hurry up. Well, I lost on time. That was a rough start of the event. Lost the queen, but then my opponent seemed to completely lose his bearings. He played quite well up to that point. And in the end I couldn't pull it together because time was gone. Okay, let's go back to the tournament. Starting with 0 points, I'm in 728th place thus far. That's boding well for the rest of the event. I might have to go berserk a few times to see if I can catch up. Let's see, with the first place, Crazy Black Horse 1596. Okay, so this is the berserk button, and here we go. I play with a minute and a half, which means I'll try to push off most moves before my opponent has even moved. It's called pre-move. Basically, I can add one more move to the position while my opponent is thinking, and the moment my opponent makes a move, my move will automatically be executed. Now, of course, this is dangerous. Like, I'm pre-moving this move, but if he takes on e5 while I'm doing that, then that would be bad news, because then, of course, I already have made my pre-move, moving my knight to f1. So bishop f4 is my next. Oh, well, good thing I didn't pre-move, because he just lost a piece. I will protect it like that. Now I'm setting up all kinds of bad things for him. Okay, what to do? Let's see if he is going to drop mate. He did. Well, that hurt. That worked. Took a gamble, hoping that he wouldn't see it. I'm lining up my bishop and queen. He should have played f6, and then he would have been fine, except he's down a piece. Alright, I'm in the tournament, 3 points. The leader has 34. She did lose a game somewhere along the way, but clearly 1562 is not her actual level, because she won everything else, and she's berserking. Let's see. And here we go, and I'll have to berserk again, taking half the time of my opponent. Playing Norman 1512, rating 1786. And he's taking a little bit of time to play his first move. He has 10 seconds to respond. If he doesn't, I'll win the game. And he resigned. Well, thank you. I'll take it. I got 2 points for that one, because when you berserk, you have to play, I think, a minimum of 5 games, 5 moves to get the extra points. This time I will not berserk. It's still early in the morning. I already dropped one queen. My opponent's rating is 1983. So let's try not to get too aggressive just yet. So far the game has started in a pretty fairly normal fashion on pinning my knight. And let's see what he will do with his bishop. He's moving it away. Okay, then I move my knight away as well. Sort of looking to get one of his bishops if I can. Sort of depends on what he does. He plays this move. That's a pretty good move. It's a little bit annoying. Yeah, let's play rook e1 and recapture with the rook. Okay. I do want to play b4. There he trades and b4 is incoming. Took a move. He might drop back to e6. Will he drop back to e6? Actually I'm curious to see that, because I can take this pawn and he can go here with the knight, but I have rook e8 in between. So it seems like I did win a pawn. I'm not completely convinced yet of my position. This knight is looking very good. Okay, so what to do? What to do? Rook e1. Let's play rook e1. Go for the open file. He's got the a file. Okay, he wants to play g5. It's a good move. I might have to respond to that. With g4, can he sacrifice on that square? He could. Struggling a little bit in this game. Okay, let's play queen f4. Plays g5, I'll take the knight. And I do want to play g4. Aha. Okay, that's a pretty good move, I suppose. Let's go back to e3 and make sure that I hurry up a little bit. Okay. Now I am going to attack that bishop. I will win a piece. He'll probably have to sack if he goes to g6. His e6 knight will be hanging. So now I'm forcing him to sacrifice on g4. He can choose which one he's going to keep. He chose that one. Okay. And now I'm thinking too long, taking too much time. Okay, I want to regroup a little bit. I want to put the knight in e5. I am giving up this pawn, but I just want to get my knight to e5. And my goal is to do something with these pawns on the queen side. I'm attacking this pawn now. I'm sticking my knight, attacking this, threatening e7. So he's defending one, but not the other. So that's good. I'm winning a second piece, and he resigns. Well, I pulled that one out of the hat just in time. Quite pleased with my decision here, actually. My pieces are just a little clumsy, unprotected. King is a little open. This one is being attacked. I just couldn't really find a neat way to try to consolidate. It's probably going knight g5 or knight d4. So I figured let's just bring the knight back and try to get it to e5. And if he takes, then I'm forcing a queen trade. Probably, maybe. And now my life becomes a lot easier. And on the king side he's doing okay with 3 pawns against 1. But on the queen side it's 2 against 2, and I'm attacking with all my pieces. So these pawns are under big pressure, and once I win one of them I get a pass pawn, and that should do it. Okay, so now I get 4 points because this is my 3rd win in a row. I'm up to 9, 1, 4, 9 in the standings. Let's see, first place. Anna Red starts losing games all of a sudden. Okay, since that went pretty rough, let's not berserk again. Okay, let's go for the Sicilian Defense. And he goes for a closed Sicilian. And he might transpose into an open Sicilian after all. He does not. So now it's a closed Sicilian because this pawn can no longer come to d4. Because I have 1, 2, 3 people sitting on that. So the game takes a slightly different character. Aha, he plays this move, huh? Okay, it's interesting. It's looking at this square. Okay, let's play d5. See how he responds to that. Attacking in the center. I mean, he could take, he doesn't have to take. White setup is a little passive. Aha, okay. Alright, let's jump my knight in. If he takes, I'll take with the pawn, attack this knight. He could play knight b5, but I think I can play e5, and that's a move I might play anyway in this position. I also like that his bishop is blocked. But, okay, let's play e5. If he plays bishop g5, he does not play bishop g5. That's a bit of a surprise. Alright, let's get this king out of this diagonal. I might want to play f5. And I don't want this king to be in that diagonal. Okay. Decent move, I would say. Okay, let's take once and play f5. If he takes, I'll take back. I'll have a protected passed pawn. He plays that move. Okay, I'll take back. If he pushes... He does push. Okay. So he's going to play f4 next, I suppose. Okay, let's just force him to play f4. Not that happy with this situation, but okay. Maybe it will be fine. Maybe we can play d3 in that case, queen d4. What, he pushes this pawn. That's interesting. Could be a decent move. Maybe not. Maybe yes. I don't know. What is he trying to do? He'll have to play knight f4. Well, let me start with queen e7. Attack this pawn. Knight f4. What am I going to do against knight f4? But this... Okay, I don't like this pawn on e6. It will have to go. I'm running into business on the e-file, but I still have bishop b3 attacking the queen to unpin my bishop. So he could take, I recapture, and then he could take on d4. Not sure I'm extremely pleased with that position, but I'll have to do. Knight takes e4. Am I going to sack a queen? Not really feeling it. I'm not feeling sacking a queen. So I'm going to move my queen. Okay, let's move it to a fairly safe square. He could trade on c6. I mean, his position should be... Well, he plays that. Okay. I guess not a bad move. He's going to trade my dark squared bishop, which is a very important bishop. So if he gets it to c3, my king is in trouble, but... Alright. Let's play f4. Let's go for it. Let's go bishop h4, and I'm almost trapping him. Let's try it anyway. Get my rook to the open file. He wants to play b5 still. Oh, he's giving away a queen. It's going to make life a lot easier. I'm also almost out of time. So this should make things pretty hunky-dory. And I'm going to sack on f3. Whew. Narrow escape. Yeah, he dropped a whole queen. His queen should probably move to like c2 or so. Trying to get on this diagonal. And I got a little fortunate there. So I'm going to keep the berserk button unpressed for now. And trying to keep building my streak. I'm playing against Aragorn 656. My opponent's level is slowly inching up. Bishop e3 immediately. It's an interesting move. Let's see if he takes. I have queen a5. He doesn't take. Okay. So now he wants to take. So they play b6. Let's not wait too much longer. Just go for a pretty solid setup. Now I'm sticking my pawn here so my knight can come here. And he wants to play f4 apparently. I will take that if he does. And I'll play d5. Getting a bit more space in the middle of the board for my pieces. Everything is still well protected. No trouble there. Okay. Let's bring out my bishop. Then maybe I'll put my queen behind my bishop. So that I can move my rook behind my queen. and I'll leave the tension in the center for now. Okay, now I'm going to change that, I think. No, let's play a6 first. Stop that knight from coming. Maybe play b5. When you move the pawn to c3, he is really weakening his dark squares. If I get this pawn out of the way, I'll get control over d4 and b4, and well, here I go. I'm going to soften up this d4 square, and I really would like my knight to go there. I don't know exactly what he will do. Okay, he takes, I take back, attack this bishop. Is he going to take again? He is going to take again. Okay, let's take back with my bishop. Is he going to play knight e4 attacking this pawn? He does not. Well, let's go into this square with tempo, attacking his queen. And then I'm going to withdraw my bishop along this diagonal, because I want to keep it aimed at g2. Alright, here we go. Does it matter? Oh wait, he's dropping a queen. Okay, let's take his queen then. Knight fork. I guess I could get more fancy. Can I play a move like... No, let's just take the queen. And drop back this bishop. Now I'm going to line up. Oh, he's going to resign. Yeah. I want a queen for a knight, and I have a great position. Okay, next one, 45, climbing up. Started out with a queen gift in the first game, and since then things are slowly picking up. Not a great morning chess player. One of the worst things about playing chess in week or 2 week tournaments is always at the last round. Usually they start, each round starts around noon, 1 p.m, sometimes 2, and then the game goes into the early evening, sometimes the late evening, and the last round would always start at some ungodly hour like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. because they wanted to get the tournament over so that people could still travel home and all these things. So okay, he's attacking my pawn, let's protect it. You would be spending a week or sometimes 2 weeks playing your game every afternoon, getting into a very fixed rhythm, and then all of a sudden for the last round, the money round so to speak, the one where the decisive round for the tournament, you suddenly would have to wake up very early in the morning, and it would just be terrible. I started playing chess. Thank you for your question, Cosmicant Castle. Interesting name. Playing chess when I was around 4 or 5. My mother taught me the rules, and I apparently liked it. I'm not sure. I do remember. I have a memory of sitting outside, camping, and learning how the pieces move. At some point I joined a chess club. My father is a pretty good chess player. What's going on here? He really wants to get rid of something. Okay, I want to push that knight away. He is a pretty good chess player. He was a master. Well, he is a master, I guess, in American terms, from the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, there's not really such a thing as master. A master would be an international master rated over 2400, but he has been over 2200, so my dad is a pretty good player, and at some point he must have taken over the job of... Is he going to sack? Maybe he should. He's not going to sack. At some point he must have taken over the job of teaching me. And I also joined the chess club. What's going on? Hold on, now I have to concentrate. What's going on? The queen is lining up with the bishop. If I take... Alright, it's not entirely clear what's going on, but let's go for it. Discovered attack. If he takes it... is this really going to work for me? It looks a little dodgy. If he takes it, I'll have to take back with the knight. Moves the king up, then my knight is under attack. Okay, this is actually not working out very well for me. Not to say it's working out very poorly. Potentially. I'm going to stick my knight to g5 and just go all in. I'm having serious doubts about what's going on here. Okay. Let's do it. Knight e4 is a bit of a concern. Maybe it's okay for me. He's putting a lot of pressure on my knights. There is knight f5. Take, check, king out. Okay, at the very least that's interesting. Does that really work? Is the question. Oh, let's go for it. Can think forever. I believe he does have to take. This king is going to be out in the middle. There's going to be some pressure on f2. He takes with the bishop. Alright, well. Oh boy. That didn't go according to plan. At all. Okay, I have to take. Try to salvage what I can. Which is not a whole lot. Oh boy. That didn't go well. Okay, let's attack his rook. I don't know what else to do. 18 seconds. Oh, he can take here. Terrible. He takes that. Okay. Alright. Let's go into this. And start pre-moving away. Mate. Okay. Oh boy. That was a bit of a mess, to say the least. And I accidentally put him in checkmate. I didn't even see him was mate. I was thinking originally, well, I'll just sack my rook and have two connected passed pawns. But then he has a protected passed pawn, so that's not winning. So let's just chase his king. And then it turns out I'm actually checkmating his king. Not the first in my life I accidentally checkmated someone. Not the most important game where I accidentally checkmated someone. My biggest achievement thus far is winning the Dutch Junior Championship back in 1995. And the last round I accidentally checkmated my opponent, the reigning champion, to win the championship. But that's a story for another time, I suppose. Alright, so it's getting tougher now. I'm certainly not playing at 25-32 level. Thank you, yes, it was a very nice checkmate. Even nicer because it was accidental and I had only 9 seconds left. So I was not feeling too optimistic about that one. I guess I have to play a little quicker so that when things go sideways, I at least can try to play on time instead of accidental checkmates. Alright, this is an opening I've played, I don't know, way too many times in my life, but I'll do it again because that's what human beings do. They do the same thing over and over and over. They make the same mistakes over and over and over. Even when they may think it's probably not a great idea. Let me just do it again. Of course, in chess, the worst that can happen is that I'll lose a game in about 5 minutes. But that, of course, should not be the reason for me to keep playing this line. Actually, I've played 2 games against Garry Kasparov. Was also Blitz on Internet Chess Club. Must have been early 2000s. His handle or his username was Yotam. And I was lucky to play him. I was not really, I'm just a mere mortal. Both in name as in my health prospects. And I was lucky that I knew a good friend of his, Shai Bushinsky. He was the programmer of the chess engine Junior from Israel. And I helped him in the mid-90s. I helped him out with what was it? He wanted to play in a Junior wanted to play in a Dutch tournament for engines, and Junior was just started out. It was just a beta version, and I was friends with him on the Internet Chess Club, and he called me or emailed me one morning asking if I could download his program, Junior, and deliver it to The Hague, where the tournament was taking place, where Susan Polgar and Sofia Polgar were also participating in this tournament. And the husband of Susan, I'm blanking on his name. What, he's taking this pawn? Really? Okay, so if I do this, he's going to take it. That much I can see. It's a pretty daring move. Am I going to believe it? Yeah, I'll believe it. You can still play... Oh no, now I have knight b6. I'm threatening b6. Okay. Let's take this guy and play knight c5, attacking the pawn. So I was... I took a train that morning to The Hague and to the apartment where the Polgar sisters, the 2 elder ones, were staying, and delivered the beta version of Junior to the husband of Susan Polgar, who he resigned immediately, to the husband of Susan Polgar, who would operate Junior during that tournament. I forgot how it did. I think the program did very well, and soon Junior, I think, was one of the strongest programs in the world. Chessbase bought it early on. But anyways, I knew I did a favor for the programmer. He was good friends with Kasparov, so when Kasparov was visiting him in Israel one day, I don't know exactly how it came out. I think I challenged Kasparov, and I knew he was with my friend, and then my friend probably told him, do my friend a favor and play him. So I played 2 games against Kasparov. The first one was with black, and it was the same opening. This queen a5 in this king's Indian, and I was in trouble very quickly. But then I was sort of surprised he didn't finish me off in the grandiose style that we're used to with Garry Kasparov. So I felt decently good about losing that game. The second game was a bit of a disaster. He played the opening so strong that at some point I couldn't do anything anymore. Okay, the tournament is over, of course. I failed to get close to first place. Let's see. Anna, well, I don't know what happened here. A bit of a suspicious run of events for Anna Red 07. Let's see, I should be able to see who she played, but I can't. Which might be an indication that she's been banned, I don't know. Maybe it's just an indication I'm very bad at finding what happened. There we go, Anna won. I still can't see who she played. Well, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I played Kasparov, lost 2 games. Was fairly happy with one of them, not so happy with the other one. but extremely pleased with the opportunity to play him. And I also worked for him for a couple of years, so Kasparov Chess Online. Never got to play him as he was my employer, but I did get to meet him many times. The most memorable was in Wijk aan Zee at Tata Steel Chess Tournament. Back then it was called the Chorus Chess Tournament. And we were in the back room, in the tournament organizer's room. Kasparov had just finished his game for the day, and we were following the time scramble of the remaining games. I think we were looking at the game Piquet Shirov, and I was just standing there watching it unfold on screen. And Kasparov walked in, and he joined me. Well, he stood next to me, and I was a bit nervous. And then he just started saying, rattling off lines, like maybe White should play this or that. And I figured, well, there's no one else around me that knows that's a chess player except me, so I guess I should engage in conversation. So for about, 5 or 10 minutes, we were exchanging our analysis, and I was extremely high on adrenaline. And, I probably never was a better chess player than those couple of minutes, because I didn't want to look like a fool. So I think I did very well in that analysis. Anyways, at the end of it, he nodded to me and he left, and then all the adrenaline just disappeared. So let's see, let's take a quick look. I'm not sure if there's any other action going on. Check my messages. Nope. I suppose we'll go back and try another one. Alright, a lot of them are going to start soon. I don't know how many people are watching. I'm not actually 6 viewers. Okay. I don't know if anyone has a preference. I can play bullet, which is what I usually do, or I can play 3-minute chess, 5-minute chess. Well, the 10-minute chess is probably not my tournament because it's a Roy Lopez Rapid Arena, which means every game starts with a position from the Roy Lopez, which I played when I was 8. And there's also a Hyper Bullet Arena, which I'm not going to play. 1 minute per game is fine, half a minute, not so much. Let's see if anyone has any preference for which one I'll tackle next. And when I play 1 minute chess, I might not talk that much anymore. Maybe I will, and I'll lose games. Either way. If not, let's see. I will go with the 3-minute session. I can always change. Let's join and see what happens. Okay. It's still early. My brain is still a little slow to come alive. I started playing internet chess in 1993 when I left high school and started Berserk, reading 1054. Let's do a little tricky line, little homegrown. Okay, he's attacking this. My plan is to attack that as quickly as I can. Might not. Well, he's trying to checkmate me. Okay, my attempt to checkmate on f2 was not very successful because he actually tried to checkmate me on f7. I stopped that. What? Oh, he's going to play knight here. Okay, let's attack the bishop and the queen and take it from there. Queen e2 is the only move, so let's see if he finds that. If he doesn't, then, well, he does. Okay, good for him. Now I'm going to start getting ready to get my bishop out and castle. He cannot play d4 yet, because my queen can take it. So my knight for now is fairly solid. His king is safe, my king is safe. And my position is definitely better. Alright, he's sacking a pawn. Will I take it? Am I losing my queen? I don't think so. He can play bishop e3, I'll play queen b4. And I can wiggle my way out to a5, and then that's the end of the assault on my queen. Okay, it's a very nice pawn to win. The pawn in the center. Now my knight can only be chased by this pawn, which is going to take a while. His move is pretty good. I could self-trap my queen with a5 and then I can give it up. I can also take on e4. Am I trapping my own queen again? I don't think I am. It's kind of a little hairy. Rook d4, queen f5. And I'm wriggling my way out. So it should be fine. Yeah, I can do that, but I can take on c3 in between because I can attacking his queen as well. So he should take back, I suppose. And then I can decide whether I want to take yet another pawn. I'm feeling a little greedy. I'm always very nervous being greedy with my queen. This is like the third pawn I've taken with my queen. I get, yeah, the third pawn. And I still have escape routes. And he doesn't really have an easy way to attack me anyway. If we use the bishop, he drops the rook. If we use the rook, he drops the rook as well. So, should be good. I'm still nervous. Okay, now I'm less nervous. And let's shut out this bishop from any action on my king, who's attacking g6 with his knight, bishop, this pawn with his bishop. It's just nice to form this little barricade that's completely shutting out his bishop from any action. He can attack my queen, but I'll just run away. You can attack it like that. Do I want queen trade? Well, I mean, I don't mind it. It's not like that I really want it, but let's offer it anyway. Oh, I have 15 seconds. Better start paying attention. Okay. And pre-moving a few things. 14 seconds to win the game. Should be enough. Oh. Well, none of them start dropping pieces. Boy, oh boy. Okay, back to the drawing board. Get my pawns moving. Here they go. I've got a lot of them, so I'm pretty happy with that. Attack the knight. Block a check. Take if I must. He's going to play quickly as well. No, he's already losing time fairly quickly now. Okay, let's see. I'll pre-move this one. Why not? Let's okay. Yeah, better pay some attention, otherwise I'm losing against someone really 1500 points below me. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I was saying when I started playing chess on the internet in 1993, shortly after arriving at university. I'm not sure if I actually knew there was such a thing as the internet at that time. I definitely knew immediately after I arrived at the university, because university was one of the very few places where there was internet. And I also discovered, to my great delight, that there was such a thing as the American chess server. What? No, American Internet Chess Server, AICS, which I believe was the only chess server in existence at that time. Okay, he's going to play h4. Not yet. I'm going to take this pawn. And there were just a few hundred people playing chess on that server. It was just it was not, there were no graphics or anything like that. He's dropping a knight and 2 pawns. Okay, that pawn I don't really need. Let's just grab this pawn. There's just a few hundred players playing at that time. And let's see, which one do I take? Let's take this one with check and retreat my queen. Attack this pawn, so let's pre-move that. Aha, okay, good move. At least he can stick a pawn on a3, h3, which makes my king a little nervous. Attacking this pawn, that's a good move as well. Okay, I should take it. It's not a good move because he's dropping a piece. Alright, he's taking that. I'm taking this. It's about time to start looking for checkmate here. He's still protecting this square, so I'll have to find another way, which I will do. Alright. Okay, I don't want him to come to g6. So I'm going to involve my other bishop as well. Now I do want to come to f6, attacking this, threatening mate. Okay, there it is. So at university there was this one room which was called the, I guess, the computer room, for lack of a better word. And that was the only place where you'd go on a computer. Probably was about 30 of them, and connect to the internet. I think it was called Telnet at that time. There were not a whole lot of things you could do with it. You could send email. There were chat groups. There were no graphics whatsoever. It was all just typing, text. And there was also the American internet chess server. And basically, instead of studying, I would just play chess all day long, which was not very good for my academic career. But just that you could play chess against anyone around the world at any time, all the time, was just, for a chess player, it was impossible to resist. And the first games I played, the first 20 games, were actually against the #1 rated player on the site at that time, which was Grandmaster Roman Djindjikhashvili. And I played a 20-game match, which I lost by a very narrow margin. And the result of that was that I was the second highest rated player on the internet in 1993. Mostly because there was just not that many players there. But still, you know, gotta take what you get. So for a while, Roman, as I think that's what he was called on the server, was the #1 player for quite a while. And myself, I think my name back then was Arg, A-R-G-H, was the second highest rated player, which I also stayed for a while. And one of the things we really like to do with friends from around the country, as a student in the Netherlands, you get free travel. You get a pass with which you can go hop on any train, any bus, and for free anywhere in the country. So a typical thing would be for a bunch of us to agree to dropping an exchange. Well, it's not too bad because my dark square control is of such nature that He's going to be feeling some pain on the dark squares. This bishop is completely out of the fray, blocked by his own pawn, blocked by this pawn. My bishop is in great shape. This bishop is in great shape. So we would, let's pile up on this pawn. We would come, take the train early in the morning. And am I winning a piece? I believe I am. Take the train early in the morning from all around different parts of the country. And chess friends would gather at university, whoever was the host that day. And then we would take over the computer room with like 5 or 10 people and just play on the American internet chess server all day. And then by around 10 or 11 at night, we would take the train back home. Those were the days. Little has changed since then, except now I don't have to take the train for a couple of hours or go to the university. I'm just sitting in my home and beautiful graphics. A couple of people are watching, 7 viewers are watching me play chess and talk about all this. I'm ready to deliver the knockout blow and I have 18 seconds, so I'm waking up just in time. Okay, now he's dropping a queen. 17 seconds should be enough. Pre-move we capture. And let's move in for the kill. Threatening mate, rook g1 incoming. Check. Stick this queen on this square and let's march another pawn to the other side. Alright, so far I've gotten very lucky. Usually the first time I look at my time is when I have about 20 seconds left. And somehow that works out. So, what am I doing? Oh, I'm berserking, that's why I have no time. Anytime I look, I'm in 8th place. Anna Red is playing again. Grandmaster, I caught a Grandmaster. I better be concentrating now. I'm going to play my fianchetto again. Stick my king behind it. And this is an interesting opening. It's taking a lot of space in the middle. I get this outpost on d5, so my knight is now going to head to that outpost. An outpost is a square protected by one of your own, and no enemy pawn can ever attack that square again, which essentially means that I'm now the owner of this square. It also means he's going to try to checkmate me on the king side. This move, maybe I should have actually, yeah, that's a bit annoying. I wasn't really ready for annoying stuff yet, so early in the morning. Okay, I'll suck it up. Give him a chance to play g4 and f3, which creates permanent displeasure for my king. But it also means, okay, I'm not too worried about that move, actually. I just want to sack. Oh yeah, let's play bishop g2. Maybe I should not be too... okay. Let's take this one. Takes back with the bishop. Alright, I'm just not predicting any moves. I'm failing to predict almost any of his moves. I'm also taking a long time to think. Okay. I'm just going to get my queen involved. I'm an outpost on d5, on e4. He could play e4, I guess. Get his knight to e5. I'm not sure how Still not really happy with my safety of my king. If there's no danger, I can pull off many moves in little time. When there is danger, there's always the potential that it just collapses any second. And that's sort of the situation here. I'm up on time, so that's good, but I'm a little nervous about him sticking something on f3 soon. Okay, I want to trade queens. I doubt he will take it. He does not. Okay, let's close the position. Stop him from playing f3. His knight does have an outpost, but I'm just hoping to deal with that at a later time. I'm hoping if my bishop would be in f2, it would make me very happy. He's attacking this pawn. Do I care about that? I might not even care about that. No. I'm going to give him this pawn. I'm going to trap his retreat, so he has to take my bishop. And then I'm going to use this half-open d file. Okay. Come take it. And the fact that my knight is much better than his bishop. He might play b5. Does it really do anything? I doubt it. Okay. In goes my knight. Threatening maybe knight c7. I might also take this pawn. Why would I not take this pawn? Explain it to me. Stick my queen on g4. Okay. Any queen trade would make me really happy. Oh, let's just back this up for now. Okay. By all means. Alright. Let's force the issue. Let's keep forcing the issue. Uh-oh. Am I gonna lose this pawn? Probably not. Let's back it all up. Stick it on a6. He has no moves with his queen. Stick my king on a light square. And let's do some maneuvering with my knight. Okay, let's stick it on c4. Let's go to the d file. Let's go back. He's got 6 seconds, so. Okay, do you want to trade? What is happening? He's sacking everything he has. Okay. Well, it's a bit of a nervous game since it was a grandmaster. Actually, which grandmaster is this? Nulan Ibrahiev. I'm guessing he's from Kazakhstan. Oh, there it is. FIDE 2395. Let's do a quick search for Nulan. Let's see, can you guys actually see him when I do this? You can, okay. Nulan Ibrahiev, 2431, Kazakhstan, 1977, born, male, grandmaster, 2388, number 2431 in the world. He's about my age, and he's about equally active to me, which probably means not active at all. Oh no, he's way more active than I am. Alright, that was a good game. I see that all of a sudden there's computer analysis included in this. I have no idea how that happened, but it did. So the game was pretty okay. Knight f3. I really like this setup, just knight out, pawn out, bishop out, castle. My king is pretty safe there, and it's 4 moves I can just pull off almost immediately. So on blitz or bullet, this is with little time. It's a very nice way to start the game, not having to think too much. So now there's a battle for light squares starting. And since he moved these pawns out, thank you, nice win, yeah. He's leaving this square to me. This square is now an outpost. It's protected by my pawn, and these pawns can never attack it again, which means he cannot chase a bishop, knight, rook, queen. Well, he cannot chase a bishop or a knight from this square, because at worst I'll be protected, and at best I won't be even attacked. So now my goal is to get a piece to d5 as soon as possible, and the knight is the best piece for an outpost, because knights don't really like to move too much. Knights like to sit, attack a lot of squares, and not be bothered. And the little finicky pieces. So now my goal is to get this knight to that square as well, and this is a standard maneuver that I'm employing now, dropping the knight back and around. So now he has given up this square. He's also given up this square, which has now also become an outpost. So I'm getting all these nice light squares for my pieces. What he is doing is he's expanding quickly with his pawns on the king side, and he's just trying to checkmate my king basically. One of the things he wants to do is get his pawn to g4, maybe the other pawn to f3. So e3, yeah, inaccuracy. I'm just trying to sort of break this stuff on f4 down. Rook b1 was better. Yeah, I don't know. I can try to just sit like this, but I didn't feel like it. I was considering taking first and then playing e3 so that he doesn't have bishop g4, and then when he did I was, well, I don't know. So I played it anyway, bishop f3, and he should have taken, was my impression. I thought he should take. I take back and he should play g4 and f3. And in a blitz game, when you have this pawn on f3 with the weakness of square g2, it's always dangerous, no matter what. If a queen lands there, it's mate. So my plan was actually to stick my queen to h1 and then play h3 and then maybe pray, because it actually looks pretty badly. He played bishop h3. I was considering sacking my rook because I like light square bishops better than rooks. But then I figured, let's see what he wants. Is he going back to g4 and repeat the position? He did not. And apparently this was not so good. Yeah, rook f6 was just, I was expecting him to maneuver his rook to the h file. Yeah, I know, queen h1. It's it's a disaster. Well, actually, let's just see how bad it really is. I was getting a little desperate here. So I was planning this, if you can believe it. I can barely believe it. I was planning this. I was thinking I'll play h3 and maybe this might be okay for white. Maybe not. Queen d7. Huh? Yeah, it's looking pretty awful. I know how I can play like this. It's yeah, if he gets king g7, h5, it's a tragedy because my queen will never really get out. If I take, he takes back, and he gets rook to the h file. Now I can maybe take. It still looks horrendous. I might have tried it anyway. I don't know. I wasn't sure what to do else. After g4, what should I do? Just queen d1, yeah, and then f3, and try to deal with it this way. Yeah. Now this is better. I'm not getting mated immediately. If you can pull this one off, but I always have some h4 pawn takes, and then use this pawn as my as a shield, and just stick my king on h1. And then it's very difficult for him to get access. So, but I mean, I really like outposts. I'm an outpost junkie, but I really don't like these two pawns. It was some sort of an English, starting with as sort of a ready with knight f3, and then when we played c4, now it's in English. And yeah, when he played bishop takes f6, I was getting a little more comfortable. Queen f3, so now the idea is to stick my queen on g2 and try to... I mean, if I trade queens, I'm in great shape because my king will be safe instantly. And I still have these outposts, and this knight is just a very juicy piece. This bishop could be very bad. What I was wondering about is a move like e4. I wasn't sure what the consequences of this sort of business. It's probably not. It's probably too much right now, because I'm just in time to eliminate this pawn, and if he takes back, I can take back. And knight f3, king h1. Okay, you can play like this, which, from a practical point of view, would be very interesting. I like close positions, yes, but I also don't like my king and queen having. I don't like my king and queen having no moves. And he has a huge outpost on f3. I mean, it did cost him 2 pawns, but from a practical point of view, his position might be much easier to play. I mean, I could take this pawn as well, but he just sticks rook on d6, d8. And now he should shift everything to the queen side. My queen is completely out of play. If you can maybe move the queen and get this pawn there to solidify his g4 pawn. It's not a Catalan. A Catalan up 1.5. Yeah, but in terms of practical play, I would rather have black. If I have 2 minutes, it's okay. A minute maybe, but if it gets down to a little bit of time, pretty much any mistake I make, it's just mate. Any mistake he makes, he's just down 1 more pawn. So the engine would win this with both colors against me easily. I would probably prefer black, just because my king side is, I mean, he's completely in control there, and I'm just a little nervous about the prospects. Maybe I'll take and play bishop e3. But anyways, it's not a Catalan, because a Catalan would involve black playing the move d5. So if black would play and white playing d4, so neither of these things happened. If white plays d4 in combination with g3 against d5, then we can talk about, then it's a Catalan. Yeah, despite 2 pawns down, exactly. Even though black is 2 pawns down, he is not down -2 in the engine evaluation. So here's the irony of the thing. In the game, yeah, e4 is not a good move, technically, but from a practical point of view, it can be decisive in the sense that at this point I am trying to block everything on the light square so he doesn't get access. I did give away this big square on d4. h5, g4 was a mistake. I still sort of like it because practically black has to make a decision now. And well, he played knight b4, and I really liked h3, and I really don't like knight takes d3. After a3, okay, the engine says 0.00. At this point, I had pretty much no doubt I was going to win this game. The knight has no more escape, so he will have to end up trading for my bishop, and then, like in the game. And at this point, my king is completely safe, because I have blocked everything on the light squares. This bishop is nothing more than a glorified pawn, basically. It's sitting behind this pawn structure, and it can never really get anywhere. If this bishop would get to d4, black would be practically winning. The bishop on d4 would be an extremely strong piece. My king would have to move over, and that bishop is just a nail in the coffin. But with the bishop behind the pawn chain, the bishop is nothing more than just a protector of those pawns. My knight is going to come to this outpost on d5. It can't do much more from there, but it's sitting there looking all pretty. And in the long term, my plan is just to attack on the queen side and open something there. And maybe in combination with taking here. Actually, black should probably just play h4, give up on any sort of like dream of some h-file action, and just stick everything towards d6 and the queen side. And then black is probably okay. It's sort of a fortress, but practically speaking, it's just very difficult to play. Of course, now I could take immediately. I was not paying that much attention. And now he should have played h4, and when he didn't, then I took. Because now my queen takes over this spot, and the only way that queens get chased if this rook somehow makes it to h4. And I didn't see how that was going to happen anytime soon. And in the meantime, I'll quickly start my play on the queen side, maybe doubling on the d file, one of those things. So here the game just it was not perfect from here on out, but I was up on time, and I'm just controlling the position. It's easy to play quickly, basically. Yeah, actually d6 is weak, but I might not want to win it, because if d6 is gone, then the bishop might have a better prospect. Also, it's much more annoying for him to keep defending d6 than it is to never worry about it again. So d6 was not really my... I mean, I can attack it, but I don't really want to win it. I just want to keep him busy. And one of the things I wanted was actually what happened. Was passed a-pawn, and the combination of the danger here, as well as the queen sitting here, and the knight on d5, it's bit of a disaster. I completely lost track of the tournament. Let's see, is the tournament still going? Trying to back my way out of this. Successfully, 22 minutes, 57th place. Oh, and by accident I restarted the tournament. He's going for berserk. Should I do that? Okay, let's do it. Why not? Let's go for a little berserk action. 1.5 minutes each. I can pull off a few moves with pre-move. Now I have to be a little bit careful. Alright, this is still all quite well known. Attacking b7. Now he is almost lost. Let's see how he will deal with it. And now he's lost. Now I'm attacking this pawn and the bishop. And this light squared structure is going to completely collapse for black. Yep. Take here. The bishop d4, attacking this knight, which is protecting this pawn. What, he resigned? Okay, well, that was maybe a little... I mean, yes, I feel I'm winning here, but resigning this is a little early. I thought knight e6, at least try that. But the opening was a complete disaster for black. So, developing your bishop along this diagonal is... it's extremely typical for black to put his pawns like this. It's a very good setup. It works against most d4, c4, knight f3 openings. It's a very solid setup, and it's like it's a fortress that he's building on these squares. And since I have not moved this pawn to d4 yet, I can use this pawn to start attacking all those light squares. One idea is even to get this pawn here, and maybe that pawn there. Basically, I want to undermine this whole structure, and when it collapses, this diagonal for the bishop will open up. So when I play queen b3, I'm hoping he will move this pawn. He should just move the queen to c7 and protect the pawn with the queen and keep his proud walled-in city alive. After b6, everything starts crumbling down. I played rook c1, and after knight d7, it really is crumbled down. Now after knight d4, I'm threatening both knight takes c6, which is a disaster. Semi-Slav, that's correct, without d4. So he has to protect that. I'll attack my queen first, then it doesn't really matter so much. He protects the pawn. And now by taking this bishop, this pawn is drawn away from this pawn. I take, and now this pawn is a huge target. It's attacked by two pieces already. And by moving my bishop, I'm maybe threatening to take, and then take on d5. I might also prepare it a little bit. because at the end this pawn is still hanging. But positionally it's a complete disaster for black. The light squares will be mine. This bishop is the man, so to speak. It's an IQP if this pawn would be gone. IQP is an isolated queen's pawn position. Now this is an isolated queen's pawn. It's on the queen's file and it's isolated because no pawns can or there are no pawns on the E and the C files. But when we talk about an isolated queen's pawn position, let's see if I click analysis board. The nice thing about lichess is that even when I go to analysis board and all that, I don't have to resize my screen. An isolated queen's pawn position looks like this. For example, with there's all kinds of openings we can use to get there. I'll use this one, because we're going to get there very quickly. Now it's for white. So basically, this is an isolated queen's pawn position, and this is the isolated queen's pawn again, but it's also on a half open file for the other side, and an outpost on d5 once this pawn gets to e6. So this is an IQP. If you want one with the IQP for black, we can go into a very old opening, the Tarash, which looks like this. And then at some point, these might be traded, not immediately, but the basic idea is that black will get the IQP. But an IQP position always refers to a situation where the IQP is on a half open file for the other side. So even though in the game he gets an isolated queen's pawn pretty quickly, let's see here, this is an isolated queen's pawn, but it's not an isolated queen's pawn position. For that, my d pawn would have to be gone. And if my d pawn would be gone, his position would also be horrendous, because he's going to lose his IQP. Let's go back. 17 minutes left on the tournament. File not half open. Yeah. I think I should be paired soon. Waldmeister 20, 2099. I'm not in the mood to berserk if he doesn't. Shall we use a special? Let's use a special. I'm not best in the world at a lot, but I am one of the best in the world in playing a5 with black, mostly because it's not very good and no one else does it. Okay, this is not the most typical way to develop for white. Queen e2. The worst thing about it is that most players think I'm trying to denigrate him by playing a5, a4, but there's actually a sound positional idea behind it. I'm trying to gain control over light squares, and actually in this game already I have gained quite a bit of control over the light squares. Was Magnus doing it? I have to check that out. I've played thousands and thousands of games with a5. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this. It's a close position and you already know I like it. I got two outposts on the light square, so the queen side has been completely blocked. I've got an outpost on b3, which I will start aiming for next. And then we'll just let the clock run down a bit and see what's what. He still might want to play g4, but I'm not too nervous about that at this moment. Let's play bishop e7. Okay, so he does want to play g4. Do I need to deal with that? Not really. Let's see if I can get my queen to b5. Attack his d-pawn. Look at the outpost. Maybe get my bishop to a6. Sure, why not? He might drop back his bishop. It's a slow game. See if he wants a queen trade. If he does, I'll be fine with that. If he doesn't, I'll just draw it back, get ahead on the clock, and then just take it from there. Okay, he doesn't. Then I'll go back and I'll patiently wait. Okay. Stick my knight to f5 for now. Attack the g-pawn. Alright, now let's move to this diagonal, see if he likes that. I don't really want to play d4 because I give access to square e4. I just want to do almost nothing. Okay, let's stick my knight to b3. Try to gain a little bit more time on the clock. I'm not sure what my king will do yet. Let's just play rook c8. And wait out. Okay. A few quick moves. Knight to g4 doesn't really do anything. I'm just going back and forth. I'm not in a hurry to do anything yet. Neither is he, so actually it's not going to be all that easy. Well, I prefer it if my opponent is out of book. I don't prefer it when I'm out of book. So actually, I'm not really out of book. I've played a position like this many times, and I really like d4. Now I'll trade his light squared bishops, which increases my control over the light squares. The only move I have to be careful of is c4. So the question is, will I close the position? I will. It's not easy to win. I have to be careful actually not to get sacked on the king's side. But white has almost no plans left. And I can target a few weak spots. Okay, let's pre-move that. Let's pre-move this. Let's pre-move this. Let's pre-move that. He's waiting as well, which is the best thing he could do, by the way. So now I'm going to my king here. Queen out, out, out. Section exchange. Yeah, it was getting pretty annoying. Now I have to move to get g6 under control. And then let's get my pieces to a6 again. It's not going to get anywhere. Okay. Let's keep the b file closed, and there it is. Yeah, flag him. That was sort of the plan early on. So, yeah, I've played a5 more times than I should, but my opponent is almost guaranteed out of book, and I'm guaranteed in book. Just that my book is not that great in certain variations, that's all. But in the vast majority of variations it's okay. One of the ideas is to just stick the pawn on a4 and see what he does, whether he wants to allow a3 or not. And if he doesn't, now this square gets a little weaker. So if he ever moves a c-pawn, if the pawn moves, b3 becomes an outpost. And I already mentioned I'm an outpost junkie. I like squares that he cannot protect with one of his pawns, and I protect with one of mine, and then I want to stick pieces on it. So I'm already a little bit happy with that. Then I play e6. Basically, I'm going to attack him on all the light squares. Now most people here play d4 because that's what most people do. I mean, it's a good move. I'll play d5 as well. And now c4 gets a little more interesting as well. One of my goals is to just trade the light square bishops as quickly as possible and just further weaken all the light squares. Now he played queen e2, which is a bit unusual. I mean, there's a French, because this is now a French defense technically, as if I played e6 on the first move. There's a French with queen e2, and one of the ideas is to develop the bishop like that, and that's what he's going to do. So the good thing is he's not trying to murder me, because when you play a5, a4 in the first couple of moves, sometimes you get killed quickly, as I have. So he's not really trying to do that. So already at this point I know the game is going to probably come down to time. And I'm still going to continue my light squared attack. So that's also why I moved the knight back here, because now I need to control these squares, and the knight can do that from square h6. So here I go. h4 is actually a very bad move, because that guarantees you will never really get to play g4, f5 under favorable circumstances. He should leave the option open of playing h3 and g4, and then white is better. But after h4 now, I think it's probably about even. And slightly more pleasant for black, if anything. And there we have our third outpost. So now he's given me 1, 2, 3 outposts. I've given him 3 as well, but he has no access to 2 of them. These 2 are not accessible to him, only g5. And f7 is the only weak spot I have to keep in mind. I have access to all my outposts. So I immediately start moving towards them. And the second piece to reach square b3 and put a bit of pressure there. Now if he does nothing, I'm not so sure how I'm going to win this. I will not, unless I win on time. And yes, I want to keep central control. I really want to dominate the position. I want to make sure that he has no way to open the position. If he does have a way, he can play c4, but he's going to lose a pawn, and I will probably be happy with that as well. But when he plays c4, danger for me increases as well, because if I take, then he gets access to this square, which gives access to the outpost. So c4 is an interesting move. Maybe I shouldn't stick my queen on b5, I don't know. But that is sort of the idea, just to try to keep control. I'm also moving back and forth. A famous guy, Aaron Nimzowitsch, wrote a book, My System. And I've never read it, but my dad has related to me, so to speak. e5, I don't like that so much. It's not a mistake, but it makes my life easier. If you know who I am, then you should not play e5, but e5 is not really a bad move. But it does make me happy to see. Just the way I like to play. So Nimzowitsch says about outposts, once you have them, you want to rotate pieces through those outposts. Basically, every time a different piece lands on an outpost, it does something else. And eventually you want to pretty much trip up your opponent. So I'm just moving my pieces from outpost to outpost. And here finally I get paid off. Bishop b7. Wait, there was a blunder here? Not that I spotted it. Not that I was looking for it anyway. d4. Alright. Okay, I have to see why is this such a horrendous deal for white. Minus 2.5 indicates it's a very horrendous deal. Okay, what if bishop g1? Aha, I take here. Okay, yeah. So he doesn't get a knight to e4 anymore. and I get my bishop to the long diagonal. This is looking quite terrible for white. Okay. Yeah, would have been a good move. Had I had more time, I would have played it. Had I actually wanted to use more time. But I wanted to threaten to play d4. I just wanted him to play d4, because then the game becomes very positional. And I get an access to this diagonal and immediately move back to trade these light squared bishops. And now just to take away all counterplay, I play c4, which is a bad move technically. But from a practical point of view, with 47 seconds against 1 minute, it is extremely unpleasant for white, because now it just becomes about who plays the moves fastest. He will not really have much of a threat, and I will always be rotating through my outpost. I'm not too interested in winning an exchange, by the way, because I like my knights better than his rooks. With all the files closed, there's actually none of the rooks really can do much. The only rooks that can do a little bit are mine. I'm going to move him to the B file. And I was sort of hoping that he would, when I stick my rook on b3, well, it took me a while to do that, but when I eventually did, basically I want to stick my rook on b3 and I want him to take it with a knight. For example, I could have played rook b3, and if you played knight d2, I would have ignored him and then recapture with this pawn, and then stick my knight on c4, which is a juicier outpost, because now I'm looking at all kinds of things. And the long-term plan of sacking a piece on a3, getting both pawns out of the way, and then getting two connected passed pawns is just a complete disaster for white. Because still he cannot do anything. If he plays g4, I'll just take my rook on h5, and I'm blocking every single entry for his pieces. So yeah, this is a standard a5 win, so to speak. But my opponent is not going to feel too good about him. He thinks I'm trolling him, which I'm not really. Alright, it seems like the tournament is almost over. Let's try to see if I can pick up one more game in this event and improve my standing from 30 to what? Okay, no point in berserking. Let's go for a Sicilian defense. Let's see, again bishop c4. Okay. And again we are now in a closed Sicilian, because he can no longer play d4. Did I play this? Is this the same player? No, it's not. Okay, bishop d2. He's probably going to play queen c1. Do I care? I don't really care. I could play h6, or I could just leave it. Oh, let's play h6, just for fun. Now I can't castle, because then my pawn is hanging. What is he going to do? You're welcome to take my knight. Okay, well, I wanted to play b5 anyway. And I'm going to postpone castling with the position completely closed. My king is fairly safe in the center for now. Only when this pawn is starting to get to f5 is when things might get a little hairy. Let's play... what should I do? I shouldn't really take all that much time. I don't want to play a5 because of a4. Sort of feel like playing knight d4. Okay, let's play queen c7. Just wait a little longer and speed up the game a little bit, so that if need be I can just play for time. He's sort of doing the same thing. I might be looking at knight d4 at some point. Just want to see what he will do. He's waiting for me to play knight d4. I'm waiting for him to move his knight, and then I'll play knight d4. He's waiting for me to castle so he can take my pawn. I'm waiting for him to remove his queen or bishop from this battery. So he moves his knight. Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. Alright, now let's move my pawn. You could play bishop c3, but then I'll just castle. Bishop e3. Okay, let's keep moving my pawn. Alright, let's do it. I don't mind trading this bishop. I also don't mind winning on b2. You cannot play c3 because this is happening. So now I'm starting to come with some ideas. Okay. If I play d5, I'm opening up this diagonal. So, should I play d5? He's ready to play c3. And I'm thinking too long. Let's do play d5. I want to take with this knight. Attacking b2 and e3. Alright, that took a little bit too long. But let's see if... Now I'm just ready to take and castle. Or take on b2 if he likes that. I'm half expecting pawn to c3. Pawn to b3. What? What's happening? Okay, let's take this guy. See what he does next. Okay, let's castle. I could take a1, but I'm not really in a particular hurry because I really like my bishop anyway. I mean, it's a good move, so maybe I should just do it. He saves it. Okay. Let's move this knight in to d5. Let's increase the tempo a little bit. Takes, I'll take back. If he takes my rook, I'll take back. If he takes my rook, I'll take back. He plays this, but that drops that. But then my bishop can't get out, so let's go back. If I take this, he has rook c1. My c5 pawn would be hanging. Okay, now this pawn is hanging. I mean, he's playing a decent game. I have to admit, he's playing a decent game. I'm ready for d4. He should play d4. Let's pre-move. Rook takes, because I have to do it anyway. d4, rook c8 is the plan. Wait, what? What's he doing? Let's protect. It's an annoying move. Queen a7. Okay, I have to hurry up. And I dropped the pawn. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. And pre-moves are not that easy to make. This one should be easy. That one should be easy as well. This one should be easy. This one should... Oh, dropping something. It's becoming a time scramble, which is okay. And which... Alright, that was not a very convincing end. How would I play against me? It's been a while since I played against myself. I guess we're always playing against ourselves. I would... my weakness is tactics. So if I would play against myself, I would play a very tactical game, not a close position, and maybe I shouldn't say much more, because then you're going to play against me like that for the rest of my life. And yeah, so it's a hard question. How would I play against myself? Hi, Breno Green or epic? Okay, this game was just a mess at some point. I was doing quite well. I should have taken rook on a1, obviously. But besides a junkie for outpost, I'm also a junkie for the g7 bishop. And I just like him better than rooks. But I should have taken his rook on a1. Actually, yeah. When he took with his pawn, I should definitely have taken, because then I can just castle and be done with it. Instead, I gave him a chance to escape, and I just didn't play very very well from here on out. Especially not playing bishop c2 is a bit of a disaster, because I can just play bishop b2. It should be big for black. Yeah, -5. There you go. Okay, so bishop c2 is just immediately crushing. Alright, so from here on out things just went south. And he played quite well, so just annoying, attacking my pieces, attacking my pawn, which I didn't see. Then I pre-moved my bishop away, I think. Yeah, knight e7. But at least I could pull off a bunch of quick moves. Put some pressure on that e-pawn. Now I'm trying to get around to this knight, but I'm completely lost. But I knew time was the only thing that matters. I'm too far behind. Nice. c2, then e3. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else is out there. Let's play a quick bullet just for diversity. Let's see if I can actually talk and play bullet at the same time. I'm not sure. I've never done it. Usually I'm quiet as a mouse unless I'm saying something that is not appropriate for any sort of public viewing. At 1270, that means I'll have to pre-berserk and pretty much play every move instantly, hoping that he doesn't accidentally take some pawn. For now it's going to be fairly easy to pre-move. That I'll pre-move as well. Okay, let's go back. Let's play a3, let's play a4, c3, let's protect that pawn, which is not protected, but it is now. Okay, that's a queen. That's gonna help in the efforts to win this game. Now let's go for an attack. Will I get to play f5? I'm dropping a bishop, but that's okay. I'm up so much material anyway. Let's go for that back rank. Will he? No, he defends against it. His defense will be over pretty soon. Actually was made in one. Could take that pawn. Alright, doesn't really matter so much. 3. The goal is to win the event. That's not going to be all that easy. Okay, this is not a moment to berserk anymore, unless I just want to lose for sure. Because I'm playing against Carl Suana. And okay. And I'm going for light square. There we go. e4 is an outpost. And I should win this game fairly easily from here on out. Now let's expand on the queen side. If he lets me, yep. And then I don't want your rook on a8. I just want to keep my bishop on e4. I'm going to squeeze you on both sides of the board. Okay. Alright. Let's come in on that side. Okay. What? That's not gonna work. Okay. It's really queen. And resigns. Alright. Next. Toggle. Let's berserk again. And let's play my... see if my specialty works this time. Another one of the specialties. No, it isn't. It's okay. Come on. Don't mess around. Pre-move, pre-move. Okay, it's alright. Pre-move. No problem. Pre-move. He's playing pretty quickly. I win a pawn, so that's nice. Stop knight f5. Let's take and now increase the speed. Okay, it's a winning endgame. Now I just have to win it. A check. No one ever got hurt by a check. It's probably not a great move, but that's okay. Just play quickly, clean up his pawns and win the game. d6, c6, queen b6, knight f6, knight g4, queen f2 mate is what that is. I'm not going to repeat that now. Of course, I didn't mate him. Now we get an accelerated dragon. Now I place this line. Actually, I hate this line for black, so not too happy with the opening. But I'll do my best. Okay. Okay. Attacking that pawn. I'm not going to care about that. You can take my pawn. I got my outpost on g3. Okay. Alright, let's attack the b pawn. Now the a pawn is hanging. Let's make sure he doesn't take it. Got a second outpost. Okay, he's attacking the h pawn. To protect the h pawn. Oh, I'm not afraid of that. Oh, I should be a little afraid actually. There's some knight f5 business that I don't want to walk into. Let's get queens off the board. That will make me a bit more. Okay, let's get the knight blocked out. He's trying to take on. Okay, second exchange. Why not? Not sure if this is gonna work. We'll see. Probably going to lose this one, and there's no time. Yeah. Well, I played a good game. I was too slow. He just annoyed me too much with his business with the queen on g4. But still not out of there. The thing with this system is that if your streak gets broken, then all of a sudden you'll have to recover your streak before you start making a lot of points again. Okay, let's move it up, go a little faster. He's playing pretty quickly as well, as one should. And bullet. Let's go for some dark squared action on f4 or c5. Stick my rook to c5. Yeah. Take back with the pawn. Take back with the pawn. Now go for a4. Try to keep Now win the b5 pawn. Okay. It will be mine. Yeah, it's 20 seconds. It's not going well for him. Okay, actually that's a good move. I don't want to move my rook away from the first rank. That's a good move as well. Clever play, I have to say. So he does get his rook to the first rank. But what about my... Uh-oh. Yeah, it's not going to get too much more. Now we'll trade and win on time. Okay, he played quite well there when he was in big trouble. Getting his rook to the first rank was a clever little trick. And with more on the time on the clock, maybe it would have worked for him. Then again, in Bullet, there is no more time on the clock. There is just no time on the clock when you start your game. We are now in a dragon. I've only played like 100,000 of them, so no worries. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. A4 loses immediately, so he shouldn't do that. But many people do play that. Okay, this is a better move. Now I have to play b4. He might play knight d5. We could trade. And then I'm going to checkmate him. Maybe. Queen f4 check. I might play f6. Okay. Alright. Let's see what he's going to do when I threaten mate. He's going to run. Interesting. Not a bad idea, probably. Maybe I should be looking for queen trades sometime soon. Queen e3, I have to play g5. Rook c2 is getting interesting. Queen a1 is getting interesting. I'll definitely do that. Or am I pushing it too far? Okay, let's trade queens. Okay. Why is this still annoying? Something is annoying me. Let's get this king out of there. Straight that bishop. Get through to c2. Get through to... Okay. Good enough. Good enough. My streak 2-2. I need another win. And I'm way behind Iron Fist. Oh, Operation is playing. It's my countryman. Okay, so there's pretty much zero chance I'm going to win this tournament because Operation is playing. He's one of the best Bullet players in the world. So that's not going to happen for me. That's okay. Alright, let's go for a standard kingside attack. Do I play g5 immediately? Sure, why not? Already taking with the f-pawn, it's extremely risky business. g6 is coming. g6 is coming. Queen h7 is coming. So he plays g6 himself. That's not a bad idea. I don't think that's going to work for him, but okay. It was an attempt. Alright, so now we're back into berserk mode and Operation is taking off. Yeah. And he might berserk against me as well. If I could catch Iron Fist, that would be very nice already. Oh, let's go back to my specialty. Okay. That's how I like it. Trade queens as well, if we can. It doesn't want to, it's okay. What is this knight doing? What does he want? You can play g4, I'll just go back. No problem. Alright. It's exactly how I like it. Okay, now it's my turn to attack stuff. Let's go c5. Attacks my knight, that's okay, no problem. Alright, he wants knight d6, does he really? I don't know. You can have it. Actually, it's a little unpleasant. Uh-oh. I misplayed it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Okay, have to take that. Kick that bishop. Get this guy out. Protect d7. Still holding, it's not great. Also out of time. Protect this guy, get rook d1 going. Okay. And now let the pre-moves begin. Straight rooks. See if he wants that. Protect. Move out. Move out. Okay, that was a bit of a gift. Take it. And there we go. I needed to make a little comeback there after I dropped everything in the center. I'm still in it. Top 3 is the goal. Okay. Little pin on the long diagonal, using to my benefit. Now if he lets me play knight f6, I will, and get that light squared bishop. Escape, play a4. Really? Okay. Alright. Okay. All good so far. Let's attack that pawn on b5. I think I was attacking the... That b pawn could be a problem. So let's see if I can win it. I can. Alright, that's one problem gone. Now I want to attack his king. Let's make sure my king is safe as well. Okay. Let's move out. Let's move out. Trade queens. Do you want to? He doesn't. He could sack. Okay. Endgame should be pretty easy. Especially if I win a rook. Alright, we are on the top 3, but nothing is done yet. 6 minutes. If I get paired with operation, I'm going to probably be looking at a little setback. Same opening. Same treatment. Protect the a pawn. Trade the light squared bishops. Get that queen to c4. I want to trade queens if I can. Stop c4. Yep, so far so good. Okay, he's going to play f4. So now I have to start defending against f5. Get my knight to h6. Alright. My bishop to e7. And offer a queen trade. Let's see if he wants it. He doesn't. Let's offer it again. Okay, then I'm going to win the B pawn. Also good. And trade queens. That hangs a bishop. That hangs a rook. That hangs a queen. Okay. Thank you, Koczynski. Let's keep going. Let's go back to a Sicilian dragon. C3 Sicilian. I mean, it's a pretty good line for white. It's castle. Let's attack that bishop. Let's attack the e-pawn. H3 would be probably not a great move. Yes, you're getting that. That's true, but I'm getting this. Okay. Sure. I shouldn't be thinking that long. Let's take and play this. Play that. All right. F7 is weak, so I have to protect that. Now get my knight involved. Really? Okay. All right. One apiece. Still not so easy. My king is a little weak, so trading a bunch of pieces would be nice. Let's start with the rooks. Actually, rook e8 was much better. Let's do it again. Yep. There's a check on c7 incoming. Then we're going to take this guy. There's another check on d4 incoming. No, there's a resignation incoming. Okay, well, obviously upper Raisin is not going to be caught anytime soon. So this is for the second place. Only a couple minutes left in the tournaments. If I win, I'll be good. If I lose, he will be good. He's going to play knight. Oh, no, he does not. Okay, let's pin. He's not on pinning. It's a bit of a surprise yet. Now he is. Okay. Let's go for it. Can I do that? No. Let's play e4. Oh, it is getting a little tricky now. It's getting a little tricky now. And maybe not so good for me. But that's for a different day. F4 is coming. Not coming yet. Really? It's a bit of a surprise. Got a lot of hanging pieces. So I'm actually not terribly happy with the situation. He didn't take. Another surprise. What? Tricky move. Sure, I should believe him. Oh, actually I have to increase my speed by quite a bit. Uh-oh. Is g5 coming? It is. Is it a problem? Not yet. Is it almost a problem? Yep. Let's see if I get this move in. Nope. It's too bad. Alright, this is not ending so well. I have almost no moves. Let's try to get the last of his pawns. Oh. Yeah, I forgot. We have a knight. If I wouldn't have my knight, it would be a draw. Well, that's too bad. I guess as long as I just lost to Iron Fist, so overtaken by Edgar, but third place was the goal. Thank you, Coach ZK. Are you Coach KZ, as in Kevin Z, maybe? Kuczynski, yes, the theory. I actually know relatively little theory compared to a lot of players. I know a lot of theory about 1A5, but then again, is it theory when only one person knows it? I don't know, probably not. But what I do know is a lot of structures, I would say, the way you play certain structures. And then there's a few lines I know very well, and also because I've played them so many times that I don't really have to think too much about them. This game was a bit of a nutty game. I was sort of playing catch-up for most of it, and then he started sacking pieces, which gave me some chances, but I was low on time and low on mouse skills just when I most needed it. But yeah, I've spent way more time on chess than one should really do, but then again, it's much better to spend a lot of time in chess than a lot of other things. How much time? We still have some time left. Let's see if I'm getting any notifications in a different platform. What else can I do besides puzzles? I'm 2100 at puzzle, but doesn't translate to on the board. Do you mean like regular tournaments, like game 30, game 60, those kind of, or do you mean just like any type of matches, just playing chess? Tactics are by far the most important, in my opinion, and but then of course there's just an unlimited amount of things to know. I would say one of the main things, I mean, play is by far the most important to get better, I think, but also playing and then analyzing your game, or at the very least checking the opening. So you play a game, then you check at which point who deviated from mainline theory and try to figure out why that was probably not good, because usually it's not, because hundreds of masters have gone before you and there's a reason why they might not play certain moves. Then again, you could play a brilliant novelty, but odds are most likely there's a reason why it's not good, or why your opponent did something that's not good. And the one thing that I would also strongly recommend is endgame study. I started very early with that, and I have saved many half points from the jaws of defeat against even very strong players, grandmasters that went into an endgame up upon where I just happened to know it was not winning for them, and apparently they didn't, or they thought that they would win anyway. But also on a lower level, especially with playing Blitz and Bullet, having a lot of endgame knowledge helps a tremendous deal. And if you would want to study one thing, the book I like best is Fundamental Endings. I can actually Google that, because it's just one book. Lamprecht and Muller. Let's see. I guess it's on Amazon. I'll just show a picture of it. Here it is. Fundamental Chess Endings. It has everything you need to know and a lot more than you need to know. And just taking it one by one. The most basic endgames, starting with pawn endgames, which are the hardest one to play. Because in pawn endgames, the difference between the number one move, the best move, and the second best move can sometimes be the difference between winning and losing. And from pawn endgames, rook endgames, bishop endgames, knight endgames, rook against knight, rook against bishop, like endgames with an exchange, down or up are very common. But pawn endgames and rook endgames, I would say, are the most important. And just start looking at the most basic ones and go from there. None of them are easy. Endgames, by definition, are difficult. Even if you know a lot, and I do know quite a bit about endgames, there's always still things that you don't know, and mistakes are so easily made. I think you're never too late to come back to chess, and of course it's much harder to improve at an advanced age. I mean, I'm not 50 yet, but I'm just a few years away. I'm feeling that slowly the memory is starting to lapse now and then. But especially with endgame study and memorization of that, I think you can easily make quite a bit of improvement. Almost anyone. What is quite typical in my practical experience in playing tournaments, I'm in Connecticut, so like the New England players that are in the 2000 to 2300 region or so. My experience is that they can play a very good opening, and I think they also spend quite a bit of time studying the opening. So for me to really get much out of the opening is, is not really a typical thing. And they can often play a pretty decent middle game. I mean, this also goes for players below 2000, but then there's usually also some other things. But for play like masters, the one thing where things usually crumble is end games and load time. So load time. I mean, it's difficult to practice. You can play blitz, but knowing a lot of end games just helps a lot, because you can certain positions you won't have to really think about anymore. You can just play them. I was in the Netherlands originally, but for the last 20 years I have not been there. This is actually Sunday morning chess. Usually there's a tournament between Hartford School for Hartford Public High School players and students who get chess lessons 3-4 times a week. And most of them just started a few weeks ago, and they're playing a tournament on Sunday. Not this Sunday, but usually on Sunday morning. That's what's happening, and that's the games we're looking at. This morning I'm just freestyling it with some chess on Lichess. And a mouse could be very important. In fact, I've only one mouse in my house that I like to play with, the one I'm playing with now, because you get used to it, to the speed at which it rolls, like the resistance and all of that. And I just cannot imagine some players are playing with a mouse pad or on their phone. Cape Town, well, that's a far cry away from Hartford, Connecticut. Never been there. And do I know players from South Africa? I know Watu Kobese. He's almost exactly my age. So I did see him at some World Junior Championships back in the day. I never played him. I never really interacted with him. My impression was that he's an extremely friendly guy. One of the best players from Africa as well, but the last time I saw him is, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. I know, there's so many places to visit. I hope to make it out there on time. I remember was it Nakamura? Someone visited South Africa, and there's like videos of them playing in the park, on the street, or Kenny Solomon. Yes, I know of him. I've never played him or met him. If I think hard, if I try to dig into my memory, I might remember more players. It was Hikaru, yeah. Was Aronian, did he also have some memory of Aronian going? But maybe, remembering correctly. Let's see if there's any more action ongoing. What I could try to do is play some 960. Well, in an hour, the weekly Elite Bullet Arena will start, which means only players rated over 20 to 100, which is something that's usually very strong. Mark Levitt. I know of his name, but that's all I can say about that. Is he still an active player? I don't think so. Thanks for joining, and I know, what time is it there now? South Africa. Time difference, let me guess, 7-8 hours? I'm going to play a few more games. Made a fortune with Gift. Never heard of Gift. 1749. It's not too bad. Let's jump into the hourly bullet arena, and I'm going to attempt catching up with, let's see, top 3 would be nice, because numbers 1 and 2 are actually quite high rated. So spotting them 15 points is not going to be the easiest thing. Also, I'm playing someone who I've lost against, so no berserking this one. I might have lost it in a berserk, but I might also have not. Let's see if we can increase the speed a little bit. Okay, knight d4. If he takes, I take. He's going to play c3. I'm going to attack on the dark squares. There we go. Is he going to close everything? He could. Not to worry about that. f4. Okay. Takes. Let's play f5. Stop that pawn from coming to f5 and opening up this diagonal for the bishop. Okay, let's attack the a pawn. See what gives there. e5 is sort of the critical move for him to play. And I mean, it might work under circumstances. Not yet. Do I second b2? No. I don't think so. Let me just get away from knight c4, attacking my queen. And then see if I can double on the b file. How about that? Alright. He protects. Let's play rook b3. Okay. Things are happening. I don't know what's happening, but something is happening. Let's take the pawn. Okay. Now what? I have to move a little bit. Okay. Move up on the road. Too slow. Too slow for my own good. Just fast enough. Well, rough game. I guess I was lucky that I spotted in time. I was running out of seconds. And then it all turned out just fine. Okay. To attack these light squares again. This position is pretty good for me. It's getting better. Let's stick the queen on d3. Maybe I'll go to b5. Sure, I'll trade queens and I'll take the d pawn, and let's try to get that going a little bit. I want my knight to c5. There it goes. Okay. h4 is fine. I can deal with that. I should have played h4. Would have been slightly better, but it's okay. Let's trade one set of rooks if he wants to. No, he's going to lose on knight d2. Missed that one. Uh-oh. Pre-move that one. Okay. Still pretty okay. If I don't wait too long. And there we go. Let's move it up. Let's take this one, make life a little easier. Let's not try to stalemate him. And I just make it a queen against king. And there it is. All right. We're still not on a streak. Took a long time. There was some good opposition. No easy wins. I guess I played this guy before. Alright, let's take it. Bring it. Let's go back. What is this? It's nothing, okay. Alright. Aha, that's what this is. Okay. Some pressure, but actually his king is much bigger trouble than mine. So I'm going to pile up now. I'm going to c2. Let's give a little check. Start expanding on the... Hold on. Wasn't I attacking that? I was. Let's pick up this pawn with check as well. Let's pick up this pawn with check as well. Let's make a comeback. And then let's look for mate. Well, let's just take and play rook here, and this should end up pretty good. Okay, no stalemate, which means it will be checkmate. Alright, where am I now? 8 points. 21 points out of first, that's not gonna happen. 13 points out of third with 10 minutes to go. So better start berserking, otherwise I'm not going to do it. Now one loss would be the end of my ambitions. Okay. Square e4 outpost. Makes me very happy. Let's chase that knight. And expand. It's gonna cost him some material. Let's keep taking things. Let's keep taking things. That knight I want to get rid of. Okay, now it's moving. Let's keep taking things. Now let's go for the king. Check. Knight f7 incoming. Nope, not incoming. It's okay. Should still be pretty good. Let's take this guy and go for g7. Queen c, no. What is your favorite piece in chess? Dark squared bishop. Or light squared, if I'm white, light squared bishop. If I'm dark, dark squared bishop. I like to put them on g7 and g2. And fianchetto, that's Italian for flank. Here he is, the bishop on g7. My favorite piece. I want to do damage on this diagonal in the long term. He is playing like this. Okay, let's attack. I want to break down all his pawns. He's dropping one on a2. Let's go back. Alright. Took one pawn, that's pretty good. He's coming with giving me another pawn. I'll take that one as well. He might attack my queen. I'll move my queen. Alright, let's attack. He might attack my queen again. Does not. I like to take dark squared bishop. So now this bishop is just getting better and better. Doesn't have an enemy anymore. Oh, that's a good move, I suppose. Am I really afraid of that? No. Am I afraid of this? Also not yet, but now I have to start being careful. Let's kick the knight. I don't like that knight on that square. Alright, let's take the pawn. He's coming back. I'm going here. Okay, I have to eliminate that guy. And the trade queens. Sure you don't. And now let's push. 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 Okay, he prefers to play on, that's fine. It's his... He will take on g6. That's my guess. And now he's going to be mated on h2. So, that dark squared bishop helped my queen land a mate on h2. Zodiac. Okay, I'll have to berserk that. He's trying to checkmate me as well. I was trying to checkmate him. Oh, he's using the... Oh, we discussed that at in one of our lessons a couple of weeks ago, the form of checkmate. This guy was trying it really hard. He got somewhere, but now he's going to lose some things. He's going to... He's getting attacked. I'll relentlessly go after him. Okay. Let's see if he gives me bishop b4. I think he will. Yep. There it is. Okay, won't take that. I'll take this. The knight I can take on the next turn. I will still not take it. I will try to get knight f3 going. Let's see if we can do that. Yes, we can. Very nice. Let's check there. Let's take there. Let's take this guy. And let's move towards the king. Well, let's not do that. Let's not pre-move this. I want rook h2. What? Mate. Just in time. Okay, 7 points away from third place. It's going to be a tough call. 5 minutes left. And, oh wait, it's going to be a very tough call. It's 2400 galore. Oh, this guy. I won the last 3 games, but I've lost many of them. And he's a very fast player. So, let's see. Let's see how this is going to turn out. Let's just attack some stuff. He's going to kick my knight. He's going to move his knight. Going to stop knight d4. Now I want to go to c5. And he's going to... Oh, he's playing very well. He's defending with all his might. Let's stick the knight on e4. go back. Let's go back again. Let's go back again. Win a little bit of time. Give a check, because why not? Go back here. Go back there. Stop that. Alright, no problem. No problem. Really? I don't think so. Another check. Let's keep him busy. Another check. Let's go there. Let's see what I can do on that square. Yeah, he doesn't like my knight coming back and forth. Okay, gives me some time to try to pile up. Going quite well. It's almost no time. And there it is. Whew, that was a tough game. But the others are 3 minutes. Let's see. Can I do it? Yeah, sure. We can trade queens. No problem. We can trade rooks. No problem. Okay, let's stop that. Let's trade rooks. So now it's a pure endgame of 2 bishops against knight and bishop. And that should be good, but knights are very tricky pieces, so I better be careful. Okay, I'm protecting that square, so that's not going to rook. I'm also protecting this square. Alright. Played a tricky move, pre-move that. I will win it back. No problem, no problem. Let's get this guy going. Let's keep it going. Go back. Not sure, do I still have enough time to win this game? Okay, that was less ideal. Let's reroute. And oh, it's not mate. Yeah, he's losing on time. Okay, how much time left? 1 minute. 2 points to make up. Oh, I'm actually 4 points away. I might need to berserk. No, not berserking this one. Just playing very quickly. Okay, that's one outpost. Let's try to go to that outpost. F2 was a soft spot. Better defend that. Alright, it's time to pull the emergency brake. Did he play F3? He did not. Not a problem. He might sack, he might not. Really? He's about to lose his queen. You better get out of there. Okay. Alright, I should be winning this game on time if nothing else happens. And nothing else will happen. Alright, didn't play that so well, but okay. I think I was too slow. Yeah, the guy I just beat is in second place. If I would have won, I would have been in second place. Okay, not too bad. What was your favorite moment in chess and why? My favorite moment in chess. I should be able to pull that one up. Let's see. It's a game I played in 1995. In the last round of the Dutch Junior Championship. Let's see if I can find. Actually, the game is not going to be there. I'd have to find it another way. Which I can. I'm going to start my chess base. Pretty much the only chess database program there is. And quickly pull that game. And then I can show you my favorite moment in chess. Oh wait, it's not here. Am I going to find it here? Probably not. Yeah, this is a different computer. It's a computer from the Hartford Public Library, and I might not have access to that game here, but let's see. I might, if the game is in the... It's not. So I might have to dig from memory. I'll give it an attempt. Why not? It's 25 years ago. Start a... And then I have to flip the board. And do I remember the position? That's the question. Let's see. No, I'm not going to attempt that. It was the final round of the Dutch Junior Championship, which was the national championship for the Netherlands for players under 20 years old. Last round, I was ahead, but I had to play the reigning champion who had to beat me to overtake me and win in the last moment. But we had almost no time left. I had about 8 seconds, he had about 30. We had to make a bunch of moves, and then I accidentally checkmated him. And the feeling of euphoria I will never forget. I was very lucky and also very happy. That's actually often in chess. I mean, if you play a very good game, it can make you very happy. If you lose, it can make you very unhappy. But getting lucky is still one of the things that just, you know, going from being in a bad situation and then with some luck or sometimes skill, coming out of that bad situation is one of the best feelings in chess. But there's so many things that happened in my chess career that there could be many moments that were the best, but this is certainly one of the critical ones. Because of winning that tournament, I managed to qualify to play in a World Championship, a European Championship. I was invited to a lot of strong tournaments where I got to know a lot of very good players, organizers, and that sort of paved the way into all kinds of other chess tournaments and chess projects, and eventually brought me to Connecticut as well, in a sense. So that was one of the more important games of my life, and also one of the best moments and most memorable moments. I've been at it for 3 hours. It's been a long haul, but then again, I used to play 12, 14 hours a day back when I was much younger. So this is just peanuts compared to that. It was my pleasure. Thank you for joining. I hope you'll get to play a lot of chess games yourself today. Maybe you learned something, maybe not. Hopefully you did. And I'll be back next Sunday morning. I'm not sure yet what I'll be streaming, whether it's games of my own or games played by high school students from Hartford. Most of them just learned how to play and they're making quick progress. And it's a lot of fun to see them applying things they learn and just progressing as chess players. Good afternoon.